When I was very young, we went to RB Friends meeting, and the reason we went there was because my mother's family all went there basically, and they were all my Sunday school teachers. It was all uncles and aunts and cousins, basically, and I remember thinking, even when I was real little, how cool it was that when you went to church, you heard men singing, because you didn't really hear men sing anywhere else. You heard men yelling at ball games, and you heard men swearing while they were working, and you heard men doing all sorts of things. But church was the one place where I heard men sing, and they sounded terrible, but I thought it was cool because I thought I was so bad at everything that they did well. It was such a relief to hear them do badly at something that I felt like I was reasonably competent in. Music was one of my favorite things about church. We switched churches. My dad became a Christian when I was probably in about the first grade, and we switched churches, and we started going to the Christian church. And I switched back and forth between the two because, I still was pretty attached to RB Friends. I do remember, though, that by the time I was in first grade, I could play well enough that they started asking me to play specials. I started playing piano well enough that they asked me to do specials. And it was more like, this is the little Mullins boy, isn't he cute, than more than anything else. But my music teacher, who was also a Quaker, always told me, especially as I began to get more involved in playing in church, and like you would play for the communion meditation, you would play the offertory, and she always told me that you knew you had done well when nobody noticed that you had done it. When what you were doing musically directed their thinking towards God, or enabled them to more center on whatever it was that they were meditating on. So that really hit home, because I began to think, and this is, by this time I'm in about the 4th or 5th grade, I guess, was when I started playing pretty regularly for church, and more than just specials. And so I started taking the whole idea of church music pretty seriously pretty young.